Hey guys, what's up? It's Kevin Schroff, and today we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the latest 8th generation of the Toyota Camry. The Toyota Camry has always been the de facto mid-size sedan choice for those looking for the best in reliability, good gas mileage, and good affordability. However, with the introduction of the 8th generation Toyota Camry in 2018, Toyota strived to banish the bland styling of previous generations to the past. Toyota's CEO, Akio Toyoda, issued a company-wide order for no more boring cars, and Toyota certainly took this decree to heart. The 8th generation Camry, covering model years 2018 to 2021, is a complete redesign, running on the newly developed TNGA platform. This gives the Camry an all-new dynamic force 4-cylinder, or the tried and tested 2GR FKS V6, a new 8-speed transmission, fully independent double wishbone suspension, an attractive new exterior and interior styling and equipment, and more, which we will get into in this review. Let's start off with the design. The exterior of the Camry is now far more aggressive and athletic. The model we have here is an LE with the LE upgrade package, but the exterior varies across the SE, XLE, XSE, and TRD trims. The body is enveloped in strong, sharp lines and contours, giving the side profile a Coke bottle-like appearance. Door handles are body painted, and the mirrors are flanked on the bottom by a strip for the integrated turn signal. The LE upgrade package comes with these 17-inch rims in silver, however mine are plasti-dipped gloss black. The design of the rims themselves on the LE and XLE trims are pretty boring in their stock form. However, the SE, XSE, and TRD trims of the Camry get much nicer looking and larger rims. Coming to the front bumper has a wide, aggressive grille. Surrounding the grille are the headlights, which look great and complement the front end with its sharp yet simple design. The headlights in the XLE and XSE trims also additionally feature 3 LED strips beside the headlamp, which enhances the styling in those upper trims. The wide grille, paired with the angular headlights and low stance, give this car a nice presence. The deck has a subtle integrated trunk spoiler and nicely shaped taillights that wrap around the sides of the car to the back. On the LE, SE, and TRD, the taillight is partially illuminated. However, on XLE and XSE trims, it is fully illuminated. On the LE and XLE, you have a single-tip exhaust. However, SE, XSE, and TRD trims can come with real dual or quad-tip exhausts. Now let's talk about performance, drivability, and comfort. In most markets, the 8th generation Camry comes with either the brand new 2.5-liter A25A dynamic force 4-cylinder or the 3.5-liter 2GR FKS V6, with both engine options paired to the 8-speed automatic transmission in front-wheel drive. The new dynamic force i4 puts out 203 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque, which is a respectable increase over its predecessor and a good amount of power coming from a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. Power output from the Camry's standard 4-cylinder is equivalent or better than competing vehicles in the mid-size sedan segment. All-wheel drive is also now available in the Camry starting with the 2020 model year, however is only available when paired to the 4-cylinder. Both off-the-line acceleration and passing power on the highway is fine. I never found myself feeling like there was a lack of power or anything like that for daily driving situations. Let's talk about the transmission a bit. You have your standard modes here, as well as sequential shifting, which can be useful for spirited driving or when driving on hills. I prefer this traditional design of having a physical shift knob rather than the push-button style shift in the Honda Accord because it feels more ergonomic. You can comfortably rest your right hand on the shift knob and the center console. In the sportier trims, the Camry also comes with paddle shifters. Sequential mode in the Camry works a little differently than some other cars. You don't shift into the chosen gear. Think of the gear that you choose in sequential mode as more so telling the transmission the highest gear you want it to shift up to. Additionally, you're merely giving the transmission a strong suggestion about this. For example, if you're in second gear and you keep flooring it while RPMs are high, the transmission will automatically shift up for you after some time if it sees you aren't doing it yourself. Speaking of second gear, the Camry feels the most peppy and torquey in this range. You can feel the most pull in this car in second gear and up top in the RPM range at around 5k onwards. Most people driving the Camry, however, will never experience the true capabilities of the A25A just because of the way the transmission is tuned. Second gear is only visited for mere seconds in most situations by the transmission before quickly shifting up to third or fourth. Across all 8th generation Camrys, even the TRD and V6 XSE, the 8-speed transmission is tuned to be very conservative and upshift as soon as possible. The Camry is a mass-market family sedan, after all, and so fuel economy and smoothness are at the top of the wish list rather than performance. An improvement that would be welcome in the next generation would be for the sport mode to hold lower gears much more aggressively. Speaking about smoothness and fuel economy, both are great. The 8-speed offers fuel economy of 32 miles per gallon combined, with 28 in the city and 39 on the highway, which are impressive numbers for a naturally aspirated, non-hybrid, mid-sized family sedan. Because of the economic tuning of the transmission, RPMs are held low, even at highway speeds, so the Camry is able to sip fuel conservatively. The interior has been dramatically improved compared to the previous generation. The main focal point you encounter upon getting in the cabin is this swooping piece that extends from the center of the dash all the way over to the passenger side. This interior element integrates the infotainment screen, AC, volume, radio controls, seatbelt indicators, and passenger AC vent, wrapping it all into one single piece. The attention to appearance paid here is a surprisingly luxurious design choice for a mid-sized family sedan. It's not often that vehicles outside of the luxury segment pay attention to finer details. This increased focus on interior aesthetics is not only limited to the Camry. We can similarly see this focus in the vehicles of competing rivals like the Mazda 6, Hyundai Sonata, and Honda Accord, who are also striving to integrate more luxury into their regular sedans. Coming down from the centerpiece of the cabin, we're now presented with the Apple CarPlay-enabled USB port, 3.5mm headphone jack, 12-volt socket, and a wireless charging tray. This tray is a nice addition and allows you to conveniently wirelessly charge your phone. It even doubles as a lid to a secret storage compartment, as you can nudge this tray inward to reveal some hidden storage space. There is, however, a major design flaw with the wireless charger. You pretty much cannot use it whilst driving, because your phone will keep sliding around the surface that has no grip. Additionally, it would have made sense to equip the Camry with wireless CarPlay so that one can use both features at the same time. Visibility is pretty good, thanks to the narrow windshield pillars and large side windows. The interior itself is roomy and has plenty of space headroom and legroom wise as both the driver and the passenger. The rear row of the seats are also capable of 60-40 split folding, which can be very useful when needing to carry something long. Speaking of carrying things, the trunk space is also pretty good, coming in at around 15.1 cubic feet, giving you plenty of space to accommodate whatever you need to carry. Now let's talk about the technology and features this car includes. The LE Upgrade Package is a $3,800 option that this Camry is equipped with, which brings a lot of useful features and additions compared to the base L and LE trims below it. The package adds blind spot monitor with rear cross traffic alert, dual zone climate control, smart key and push to start, a bigger 9-inch infotainment touchscreen, HomeLink, and more. The blind spot monitor is an integrated light in the mirrors that will turn on when a vehicle is detected in your blind spot, and additionally will rapidly flicker if a vehicle is in your blind spot and you've engaged a turn signal in that direction. Rear cross traffic alert uses the 2 radar sensors in the rear bumper to determine if pedestrians or vehicles are crossing behind you whilst reversing. If a pedestrian or vehicle is detected behind you whilst you're reversing, you'll see a flashing icon representing what was detected on your backup camera, accompanied with beeping to get your attention. The range of these radar sensors are very good, and in my experience the feature distinguishes properly between vehicles that are standing still and vehicles that are in motion behind you. The smart key and push to start feature gives you a couple of convenience features. Firstly, you get keyless entry. You can unlock the car by simply having your keys in your pocket and opening the door handle. By default, opening the door with your keys in your pocket will only unlock the driver's side door. If you want to unlock all doors, you can put your hand in the door handle and leave it there for around 3 seconds, and all doors will unlock instead. This behavior can also be customized through the infotainment system. You can also lock the car by touching the striped area on the side of the door handle. Additionally, you also get a trunk handle, a button above the license plate area that when pressed opens the trunk if you have your keys on you. All these convenience features are quite useful, and together, it means that you pretty much do not need to ever take your keys out of your pocket. Additionally, depending on your location and model year of Camry, you may be able to remote start your vehicle. This can be done by pressing the lock button 3 times successively, with you holding the lock button on the 3rd press. If your Camry has remote start and the sequence is performed correctly, you'll see the hazards flash for a few seconds, and then the car will remote start. In Canada, the 2018 and 2019 models of the Camry don't have this functionality out of the factory. Here, we can see the upgraded 9-inch infotainment touchscreen. The display panel itself is great quality. Sharpness, text, and graphics are crisp with great contrast, saturation, brightness, and viewing angles. Because of the display's characteristics, it seems to me to be using some sort of high-quality IPS panel. Using a good quality panel in the infotainment system is important in my opinion, and has historically been the place where manufacturers in this segment tend to cheap out. However, that's not the case here. The touchscreen digitizer is also accurate and precise, with no issues during input and UI operation. The navigation system itself is good. The UI is clean, and the OS used in the infotainment system feels modern, smooth, and responsive, with no hiccups during operation and usage. The Apple CarPlay experience is great, and navigation with Apple Maps, Google Maps, or streaming music with Spotify is an excellent experience. The only missing factor here is wireless CarPlay, which competing vehicles in this segment offer. I have 2 EQs running at the same time here. One I set on my iPhone, and one on the built-in infotainment system. both working at the same time. This allows me to really dial in the audio response of these stock speakers. Speaking of audio quality, the sound performance without any EQ is pretty mediocre, even bordering on bad. Toyota has been employing a bass roll-off in their speakers that significantly cuts the deep sub-bass below around 120 Hz and boosts the mid-bass around 150 Hz instead to compensate for it. They do this in an effort to protect the speakers, however this just absolutely ruins the audio quality. That being said, if you EQ these speakers, you can correct this and make the stock speakers sound pretty good. Regarding the earlier two EQs mentioned, basically I've dramatically reduced the 150 Hz area and significantly increased the 60 Hz frequency area. This is all in order to somewhat undo the stock signal processing that is happening with the audio and bring back sub-bass response whilst reducing the overemphasized mid-bass response. The default imaging is also very forward and not centered. I've pulled back the fader balance 2 notches towards the rear, which makes the imaging feel much more natural and centered. Moving on to the rear view mirror, with the LE upgrade package we get a HomeLink and auto-dimming equipped rear view mirror. HomeLink allows you to pair up to 3 garage doors to these buttons, allowing you to open and close your garage door directly with the car rather than keeping a dedicated garage remote. The auto-dimming feature automatically dims and reduces the brightness of cars in the rearview mirror when they create too much glare or brightness, useful at dark nighttime situations. Aside from those added features, standard across all Camrys in this generation is dynamic radar cruise control, lane departure alert and steering assist, and the pre-collision system. Dynamic radar cruise control is a really useful feature that employs radar sensors to automatically slow down or speed up depending on how close or far from the vehicle you are in front of you. You can set a target cruise control speed like normal, but if a car in front of you slows down, the system will see this and slow down as well in order to keep the car length distance that you've selected. You can choose 1, 2, and 3 car length distances, and dynamic radar cruise control will do its best to respect these chosen distances and slow down or speed up accordingly. Lane departure alert will beep and notify you if you're swerving or coming out of your lane. This works in conjunction with steering assist, which will automatically move the steering wheel to steer you back into your lane when it sees that you're crossing over your lane lines. The pre-collision system detects when a stopped vehicle is in front of you and may engage if it determines you're going too fast and approaching it, or that you haven't started braking yet. The multi-information display shows some useful at-a-glance information. There's various displays you can navigate and select, such as the trip display, fuel economy, and estimated range remaining, eco indicator, digital speedometer, and tire pressure monitor on the main screen. The next screen is the music section. Here you can see what track is currently playing, where it's playing from, and even change audio sources. The third section is the lane and radar cruise control section. The lane lines are solid white when the car is detecting the lane lines, and when using radar cruise control, a car will be displayed in front of you when it detects one. The last section is for any messages or notifications. The rightmost menu is settings. Here you can adjust the sensitivity of the aforementioned safety features and even disable them if you wish. Additionally, irrespective of which menu you select and stay on, when you receive a call, it will pop up on your multi-information display and allow you to see who is calling and reject or answer it. Also, when you change tracks, the new track will pop up and briefly display before automatically going back to the screen you were on. In conclusion, the Toyota Camry with its 8th generation continues the trend of being one of the best offerings in its segment, now with improved styling, technology, features, and performance across all trims. The jump from the 7th generation to the 8th generation was massive, and I'm excited to see what Toyota has in store for the next generation of one of their mainstay vehicles. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit the subscribe and like buttons if you enjoyed this review, and if you have any questions, observations, or remarks about the 8th generation Camry, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Thanks and see you later.